Okay, so good. Looks like we're all together. We could begin by paying respects to the shrine. Okay, so today is Jotimanto's ordination day, and he has completed his training, ācariyas training, Sāmaṇera training, and wishes to go forth into the Bhikkhu Sangha, taking the training as a fully ordained bhikkhu or monk in the Buddha's dispensation. So that's it's a great occasion, seeing and then having those who wish to go forth, who wish to take on a spiritual training, in particular a monastic training. The story of the Buddha himself being inspired by the sight of a religious seeker is always that's part of the tradition, lineage, and always an image that is or for me it doesn't get old, and recognizing that taking on a lifestyle that is devoted to simplicity and spiritual search, and that in the Buddha, in one discourse, it says there's two possible results of, say, suffering, dissatisfaction, discontent in our life, and because one of the results is just more suffering, and the other result is spiritual search, setting an aspiration for trying to understand our condition, the human condition, and to live with a sense of aspiration towards peace and wisdom. That is what is happening today. That's what Jotimanto is directing attention towards, and that's to be delighted in. And they today are before we start the actual ordination ceremony, it'd be good to do some blessing chants for the occasion, also for the actual space. Normally, one would do ordinations in a sīma, or like a consecrated space, and so far I've resisted making a formal, boundary, ordination boundary, and because the Buddha also gives the option for, basically, if you've got a quorum of monks together in a space, that's your boundary, and we haven't really created a formal, ordination hall. Sometime in the future that could happen. I don't think anybody's in a big rush to do that yet. But in coming together for the ordination, and to take the opportunity to do some of the traditional blessing chants, the paritta chants, chants that are recollecting the different blessings and protection of the coming from the traditional refuges. So as we're chanting, and to also bring to mind, both for the monastics and the lay people, just bringing to mind that this is a special occasion, and then also to that Jotimanto making the effort to go forth to take on training, and then just it's a collective well-wishing for this endeavor. I invite Ajahn Ñaniko to call the devas.
Aretana metang sameta paranta avikita citta paritang manando sage kame charupe tirisi karatate chantalike vimane dipe rate chakame taru anagahane gehavatum hikete Umma jayantu deva chalatala visameyaka gandhabha naga titanta santikeyam vanivara vachanam sarvo me sunantu Buddha dasana kalo ayam bharanta Dhamma savana kalo ayam bharanta Sangha Pasana kalo ayam bharanta.
Namo tassa bhagavato
arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi
Dhammang saranang gacchāmi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi Mohammala pakato samang wabuddho sugato vimuddo marasapasa vinimochayanto pape sikemang janatang vinayang buddhang varantang sirasa namami loka sanatan javinayakan jatante jasate jayasiti hotu sabantaraya javinasamintu tammo dajoyo viyata sasatu dase siloka savisudhi magang Ñaniko dhammadara satari satavaho santikaro sucino dhammang varantang sirasa namami moha padalang upasantadahang dante jasate jayasiti hotu sabandaraya javinasamintu sadhammasena sugatanu yoyo loka sababu bakile sajeta santo sayang santiniyo jako jasawagata dhammang viditang karoti sangkang varantang sirasa namami buddhanubuddhang samasila dikning tante jasate jayasiti hotu sabandaraya javinasamintu Samma Sambuddha สมะเหสิโนนะโมอุตตมธัมมาสสวากาตาเสวะเทนิทานโมมหาสังฆาสาปิวิสุทธสีลติติโนนะโมโอมาทยาราดาสรตนาทยาสสาดุขังนะโมโอมคาติตาสตาสวาตุตยาสปินะโมการาภปาเวนวิกาจันตุภาดวานะโมการานุภาเวนสุวัติโหตุสัพพะนะโมการาสเทเจนะวิรินิโหมิเทจวา
เสวนาจบาลานัง
ปันติตานังจะเสวนาปูจาจะปูจนิยานังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปฏิรูปเตสวาโสจะปูเปจะกัตปุญญาตาอัตตสัมมาปณิทิจเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปาหุสาจันจะสีปัญจวินโยจะสุสีกิโตสุปาสิตาชยาวาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังมาตาปิตุอุปาทานังพุทธตาราสสังฆโออนาคุลาจกัมมันตาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังทานันจะธรรมจริยาจัญญาตกานันจะสังฆโออนาวาจาริกัมมานิเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังอารติวิรติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัญญโมอาปมาโดจะธรรมเมสุเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังการโวจะนิวาโตจะสันตุติจะกตัญญูตากาเลนะธัมมาสวนังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังคันติจะโสวจาสตาสมนานันจะดัสนังกาเลนะธัมมสากาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังตโพจะพรหมจริยัญจะอริยสัจจานดัสนังนิพพานสัจจกิริยาจะเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังพุทธัสสโลกดัมเมหิจิตังยาสนกัมปติอโศกังวิรจังเกมังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังเอทาลิสานิกัตวานะสาบัตธรรมปราชิตาสาบัตโสทิงกัจฉันติคันเตสังมังกลมุตตมันติ
ยังหินเยเวดัง
ยิรวาหุรังวาสาเกสุวายังรัตนังปณิตังยโนสมังอาติตถากเตนะอิดัมปิปุเตรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสาเจนะสวัติโหตุกายังวิรากังอมตังปณิตังยตาจักาสากยมุนีสมาหิโตนะเทนะธัมเมนะสมาภิกินจิตัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสาเจนะสวัติโหตุยัมบุตเสโตปริวานายิสุจิงสมาดิมานันตริคัญญมาหุสมาดินาเทนะสโมนาวิชติดัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสาเจนะสวัติโหตุเยสุกลาอัตตสตัมปัสสะตาจาทาริเอตานิยุกานิโหติเทตาคิเนยาสุกตาสสาวกาเอเทสุดินนานิมหาปลานิอิดัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสาเจนะสวัติโหตุเยสุปยุตตามนัสสะกาเลนะนิกามิโนโกตมัสสะสนังอิเตปาติปาตาอมทังวิกายลาตามุทานิปุถิงปุญจมานาอิดัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสาเจนะสวัติโห คีนังปุรานังนวังนาติสัมภวังวิรัตจิตตายติเกภวัสมิงเตกีนาปิจาอวิรุลิจันตานิปันติติรายทายังปริโภติยัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสุวัติโหตุ
เมทัญญสาวโลกัสมิง
มานะสัมปาวะเยอปริมาณังมุตังอโดจติริยัญจสัมปาตังอเวรังสัพพะตังกิตัญจรังนิสินโนวาสยานโนวายาวตาสวิกตมิโตเอตังสติงอดิเทยพรหมเมตังวิหารังอิตมาหุติติงจานุปกัมมสีลวาทาสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยเกตังนาหิจาตุกาปเสยังปุณเรติติ
ทุกขปัฏฐา
ชนิดุกาปยาปัตตาชนิบายาโสกาปัตตาชนิโสกาโหตุสาเปปิปานิโนเอตาวตาจะอัมเมหิสัมปดังปุญญสัมปดังสัพเพเทวานุโมดันตุสัพพสัมปติสิริยาทานังตรันตุสัทธายสีลังราคันตุสัพพตาภาวนาปิรตาโหนตุกาชันตุเทวตากตา
สามเอบุดา
ปะลาปะตาปะเจกานัญจยังปะลังอรหันตานัญจเตเจนะราคังปันตามิสาปะโส
มหาการุณิโกนาโต
หิตายสัพพปานินังปุเรตวะภารมิสัพพปะโตสัมโพธิมุตตมังเอเทนะสัจวะเจนะโหตุเตจยมังกลังจยันโตโพธิยามุเลสักยานังนันติวาดโนเอวังตวังวิจโยโหหิจยาสุจยมังกเลอปราจิตปาลังเกสีเสปัตวิโกกเลอภิเสเกสาบบุทานังอากาปาโตปโมดติสุนากาตังสุมังกลังสุปปาตังสุดิตังสุกันโนสุมหุโตจะสุอิตังพระมจาริสุปดากินังกายคัมมังวาจาคัมมังปดากินังปดากินังมโนกามังปณิดิเตปดากินาปดากินานิกาทวานลปันดาเตปดากิเน
Okay, so we can move into the beginning of the ordination, and the first thing to do is for Jotimanto to request to take the refuges and precepts and sort of a re-establishing, retaking the precepts that one has been training in the past year, and that's how do you say that? In beginning any endeavor, then to begin with one's integrity as clear as possible is really important. And so this is symbolic of that clarifying of intention and that commitment to the integrity of conduct, so that one is sort of ending your period as a novice of retaking, reestablishing, refreshing those precepts and that training, and then beginning the new phase of your aspiration with a completely clear slate, completely clean, and there's a certain power that comes when we do things with us, and not just a pure intention, but also a sense of a purity of our actions of body and speech. So that recollection and bringing to mind of the novice training and having that clarity of intention around that. So you can begin by requesting the 3 refuges and the 10 precepts.
Oka sawandami bante, sabang aparadang kamatame bante, maya katang punyang samina anumoditabang, samina katang punyang maihang databang, sadhu, sadhu, anumodami. Oka sakarunyang katawa, ti sarane nasaha, silani detame bante.
Okay, so Ajahn Karuṇadhammo will go back and give the refuges and precepts as one of the chanting ācariyas, be part of his duty to do that.
Ahang bante, saranasilang yachami, dutiyampi ahang bante, saranasilang yachami, tatiyampi ahang bante, saranasilang yachami.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Yamahang vadami kang vadehi.
Okasa ama bante.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tisanagamanam nittitang.
Okasa amabante.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Nachagita vadita visukkadasana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Nachagita vadita visukkadasana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Malaganda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusana thana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Mala ganda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanadhana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Uchasayana mahasayana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Uchasayana mahasayana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Jatarupa rajatapatigahana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Jatarupa rajatapatigahana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Imani dasa sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Okasa amabante. Imani dasa sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani dasa sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani dasa sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Okay, now that the Sāmaṇera precepts have been re-established or refreshed, we can move on to the beginning of the the Bhikkhu ordination, Upasampada, which is in the say full acceptance into the Sangha. I'd invite the Jotimanto's parents to maybe bring the robes and bowl over, and the tray of offerings for the preceptor. Forward to help Jotimanto put on his Sangati, and so that these are the fundamental requisites of a monk: 3 robes, an outer double thickness robe, which is that one on the tray, the outer robe, and then the lower robe around his waist. Those are our basic robes, and then a bowl, and that is, if we've got at least that much, then we can survive as a bhikkhu. Mostly, depends where we are. Arrow River, maybe not so much. Or maybe grab the tray to make it disappear. So having him sort of tied up with a sash is more insurance policy rather than actual part of the gear. And you're in the middle of a ceremony and in front of all sorts of people, you don't want your robes falling off. So having, and then also the tray of offerings is these are traditional offerings to either teachers, preceptors, people who one has a connection. It's an offering of respect, or to shrines, so that flowers, incense, candles, those are traditional offerings from the Buddhist tradition, Indian tradition in particular, Buddhist traditions. So it's gestures or symbols of respect, and so that now with your requisites complete, then we can begin the ceremony, and you can come forward with the bowl and your offerings. Come up to the edge of the Sangha. And then have it there. And then about 3 times. And then you will make a request to take formal dependence on the preceptor. So it's like asking to live in dependence on a teacher, with a teacher, and that's an important part of and this is a training, and it's not a sort of a do-it-yourself, independent way of doing it. Make it up as you go along, according to your own preferences. Kind of training. It is a taking of dependence on those, and particularly, even in a traditional culture that's steeped in Buddhism, for the most part, it goes against the grain, goes against the stream of what is customary and habitual to live as a religious seeker. And I was like, Tita Panyo this morning in his morning reflection saying that only about 1% of the population is actually ordained, but it's not that much. It's more like 0.5% maybe, or 0.0 something of a percent. And it's a pretty small percentage. When you have 60 million people plus, you might have 300,000 ordained people at any given time. So that's, do the math, I think that's not even 0.5%, maybe less. So it's, and then even when it's within the culture, these people don't really know very much about training. And so that it's important or necessary to live in dependence on a teacher, live in dependence on a community where one can form one's practices and etiquette and way of living with independence of others, of those who are more experienced. And on a certain level, it's like an apprenticeship. If you wanted to be, say, an electrician or a carpenter, you wouldn't just say, well, I just read it on the internet and make it up according to how I would like to do it, how I think it should be done. And you have to actually train with people who are experienced, who know what they're doing, and then it takes time, and particularly when with living a religious life, a life of devoted to that which is peaceful. It has an integrity. It has a certain commitment to renunciation, relinquishment. That really goes against the habits of the world. So to live independence is quite essential. So that's the very first thing. That is part of the ordination procedure is to ask to live independence, and it's you're asking the preceptor to be, please be my preceptor, please be, may I live independent, please give me dependence, and that is what I do in the you make the request, and then I reply, it's like opayikang, this is suitable, patirupam, it's proper, and so on, but it's not just me personally, it's also taking dependence on with the chanting ācariyas are the say like senior members of the community, Ajahn Karuṇadhammo, Ajahn Ñaniko, and that's a living independence on them as teachers as well. And beyond that, then it's also living in community with the rest of the others that are that form the monastic community, and you're living independence on the whole community. And so it's like taking the good example and models of the community, and learning how to train oneself within that. And and of course this is a very human community, it's a very human institution, so that there necessarily needs to be a taking on of that modeling, but then also you've got to use some discernment, and because not everybody is, say, 100% exemplary 100% of the time, and but that makes it real. We're all learning. We're all actually living independence with each other in order to try to encourage each other, support each other in this aspiration for living a life of integrity and wisdom and peace. So that it's a part of the joining of the Sangha, and joining in this monastic form is one is receiving, say, dependence, receiving training, but then also giving oneself to the training, so that it's a benefit to oneself and a benefit to others. So you can go ahead with your request.
Okasa vandami bante, sabang aparadang kamatame bante, maya katang punyang samina anumoditabang, samina katang punyang maihang databang, sadhu, sadhu, anumodami. Okasa karunyang katawa, nisayang deta me bante.
So you can come forward, pick up the bowl, come forward. Set the bowl to the side and then bow 3 times.
Aham bante, nisayang yachami, dutiyam pi aham bante, nisayang yachami, tatiyam pi aham bante, nisayang yachami, Upajayo me bante hohi. Upajayo me bante hohi. Upajayo me bante hohi.
You can offer the tray. Opayikan
Okasa sampatichami.
pati rupan
Okasa sampatichami.
pasadikena sampadehi
Okasa sampatichami. Ajatagedani tero. Maihang baro. Ahampitera sabaro. Ajatagedani tero. Maihang baro. Ahampitera sabaro. Ajatagedani tero. Maihang baro. Ahampitera sabaro.
Okay, you can sit in Papiya. Hands in Anjali. Okay, so you're coming and requesting to take dependence, requesting to be in training as a bhikkhu, and this is something that is worthy of support, worthy of encouragement, and what comes to mind is like this morning after morning puja, we did the chant, which is the recollection of for those who have gone forth, the 10 things to frequently recollect, to remind ourselves of, and that the very first one, I am no longer living according to worldly aims and values. This is to be reflected upon again and again, and that that in itself sets an intention, sets a determination that one is looking for a very different way of life, very different goals, values, and of course that is dependent on the whole structure of the Vinaya training, the Patimokkha precepts, 227 precepts that we take on as monks, that kind of prescribes our life, both in terms of moral action, but then also how we live in community, how we relate to our requisites, how we relate to the lay community, how we live together, hopefully in harmony with each other, and that's so that you're taking on that training, and of course you've been. That's one of the reasons why we have, or like Ajahn Chah was the one who really set the standard of having a year training in white, keeping 8 precepts, another year training as a novice with your 10 precepts. Gives you the time to internalize that ethos of training and living according to a standard of a commitment to precepts, commitment to training rules, and even though when you think of 227, that's a lot, and it is, but it's also very practical. It's also, in reality, helping us do what we want to do in the first place. Like we want to live simply. We want to live harmoniously. We want to live with integrity and focus, and that having these structures that we commit to, that it's very supportive, and so that and having lived here for 2 years within the community, training with, seeing how the training works, then it's your choice, your decision to come in and continue the training and want to use that training on an ongoing basis as a monk. So, I think it's important that any precepts, any rules that we take on it's us taking it on rather than it being imposed from outside. That usually doesn't work very well. It's more like, this is what I want to do, I'm inspired by this kind of training, I'm inspired by this kind of lifestyle, and that's what I want to commit to. And living in community, living with teachers, living with others who are living that way, it helps us to keeps us reminded of what we wanted to do in the first place. It's a good support. So as we go through the ceremony, then also this next part will be formally giving you or designating your bowl and your robes, and these are your basic requisites, your alms bowl, so that you've and it's a symbol of your renunciation, a symbol of your living a life. The word for monk in say the Pali word that's used, the Bhikkhu, it's actually somewhat of an ordinary term, and maybe even somewhat of a demeaning term, because it literally means one who begs, one who relies on the offerings of others, and so that of course, there's a special way in which the Buddha has it formalized. We can't actually ask. We make ourselves available to the generosity of others. It's like when Ajahn Chah left Ajahn Sumedho and the few of the other Western monks in England as the first monks who were training in the West and training in England. They were concerned about the going on alms round every day. Ajahn Chah actually said, go on alms round every day. And that they were kind of concerned that, and because this is like 1977, it's quite a while ago, people aren't familiar with Buddhist monks, and they're and also even some of the Buddhist society people were the people, part of the English Sangha Trust, were concerned that, basically that the monks would get picked up by the police and arrested for vagrancy and begging. So they went ahead and checked in with there was a lawyer, a solicitor, who was actually quite renowned and who researched it, and they said, well, as Buddhist monks, yes, we have to rely on alms round, but we can't actually ask, we can't take money, we can't we can't be bothering people in that way. It was basically you're relying on the other people to take the interest themselves. And he came back and said, wow, actually, the Buddha formulated this 2,500 years ago, but it fits in perfectly with English law, that sort of the English, it circumvents all of the English vagrancy laws, and couldn't have done it more beautifully than that. So it's just having our, but it is a symbol. If we don't have our bowl, we are reliant on the offerings of others. We don't have we have an interdependence with the lay community. We don't have an independence because we don't have any means of sort of worldly livelihood. But we do have trust, and we have faith, and we have our commitment to living by precepts, and Ajahn Chah sort of say, well, if you want to go to going to the West or going anywhere, and you want to establish something of benefit, then really keep your precepts, and that people will be inspired to help. And as I said, when he left the monks in England, and that was the one thing he actually emphasized was go on alms round every day. And of course they went on alms round every day, never really got much food, but they ended up with over 100 acres of forest land in West Sussex, which is because somebody saw them on alms round and kept seeing. He was a jogger, he used to go out and jog on the Hampstead Heath, and he'd see the monks walking. Finally he got really curious and stopped and talked to them, and he'd been having this problem that he had this forest in West Sussex that he didn't have anybody to look after it and be a steward for it. So then Ajahn Sāmaṇera said, well, we're forest monks living in London who don't have a forest, so it's a good balance. And he ended up offering that land. That ended up being Chitter's Forest Monastery, or adjacent to what's now the house. And so it's a thriving community. So that relying on the simplicity, having our bowl, having our robes. Again, the robes are a symbol of the Buddhist monastic form, and you've sown them yourself, dyed them yourself, so that you know quite clearly how much effort it takes to get a set of robes together. And when you've put all that effort in, you're probably much more attentive to looking after it and caring for it, and making sure it's patched and clean, and you don't want it. You don't want to go through that next week. So that is that sense of looking after what you've got. So that when we're this ordination ceremony, of course, it's all done in the Pali language, scriptural language, and after the presenting of the golden robes, and there'll be a part of the ceremony where you are questioned as to your suitability as a candidate, and be asked about things that are impediments to your ordination, things of mostly the things that are impediments are mostly around health and illnesses that are communicable, problematic, and to answer in the appropriate way of saying, "No, Venerable Sir, I don't have those, Nati Bhante," and then you'll be asked other things in terms of, okay, are you human? Are you without debt? Are you exempt from government service? And you should answer yes, Venerable Sir, which is Ama Bhante. Then you'll be asked what your name is, and so we've been using your a Pali name this past year as a Sāmaṇera, so you continue to use that, Jotimanto. So they'll ask you, Ki Namosi, what is your name? You should answer, Aham Bhante Jotimanto Nama.
Ama Bhante.
I'll also ask what preceptor's name is, Ko Namate Upajayo, and you should answer, because my name is Pasanno, Upajayo me Bhante Ayasama Pasanno Nama.
Ama Bhante.
Okay, and then if you could come forward, and we'll formally give you your bowl and robes. Dhammang uppanjangaha petavo uppanjangaha petava patta chivaranga chikitabang ayante patho
Ama Bhante.
ayang sanghate
Ama Bhante.
ayang uttara sangho
Ama Bhante.
ayang antaravasako
Ama Bhante.
Kacha amum hiokase titahi, which means go back and stand over there. That's a solid lower robe. Okay, so the next part is the questioning that will take place.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
the chanting ācariyas will make an announcement to the Sangha, and there'll be saying, let the Venerable Sangha hear me, Jotimanto, with Venerable Pasanno as the preceptor is intent upon ordination. If the Sangha is ready, we will instruct Jotimanto.
Sunatu me bande sangho Jotimanto ayasamato pasana sarupa sampada peko yari sangha svapatakalam aham Jotimantam anusaseyam.
So they will do, there's actually 2 times when they do the questioning of the candidate, and that comes from the time of the Buddha, when a candidate was so sort of embarrassed, shy, and flummoxed that couldn't make it through the questioning in the midst of the Sangha. So they had the Buddha said, well, do the questioning first outside of the Sangha, and then basically get him up to speed, and then he'll be able to come back in and do it after. And so probably during the time of the Buddha, like it would be really like outside the Sangha, outside, like way off somewhere. And then come back in after. But we've done this, we practice this a lot so far, so that just being outside of the actual immediate boundary is sufficient, and of the Sangha, and then they'll redo it again in the midst of the Sangha. Okay, go ahead.
So, Sunasi Jotimanta Ayante Satchakalo Buddhakalo Yanjatankam Sankamaje Puchante Santanati Devatapam Asantanati Devatapam Mako Vitasi Mako Mako Ahosi Evantam Puji Santi Santi Te Eva Rupa Abhada Kutam
Nati Bante,
Kando
Nati Bante,
Kilaso
Nati Bante,
So
Nati Bante,
Apamaro
Nati Bante,
Manusosi
Ama Bante,
Purisosi
Ama Bante,
Buddhisosi
Ama Bante,
Ananosi
Ama Bante,
Nasirajapato
Ama Bante,
Anunyatosi Makapituhi
Ama Bante,
Paripuna Visati Vasosi
Ama Bante,
Paripunante Patajivaram
Ama Bante,
Hinamosi
Aham Bante Jotimanto Nama,
Ko Namate Upajayo
Upajayo Me Bante Ayasama Pasano Nama.
So the chanting ācariyas, having done the questioning outside the Sīma, come back in, and then they make an announcement to the Sangha that the questioning has been done, and if the community is ready, we can invite Jotimanto into the midst of the Sangha. I think one of the things that's in terms of procedure, Sangha procedure, the way that the Sangha is governed and administered is by consensus, and so that communicating with each other, establishing an understanding and an agreement, and then by having consensus, then things go forward or get done. And so that's a principle that is highlighted in the ordination with the motions, the announcements, but it's how the principles of how the Buddha set up the administration of the Sangha. It's not that say like the preceptor is put him up on the high seat and say whip everybody into shape, just make it all happen, do it. It isn't how things are done. It's even in all of the say the Vinaya, the texts of the discipline. There's no such thing as an abbot. There's no such. I mean, it's that isn't how the Sangha was administered. It was through consensus and consensus building that the decisions were made, training was continued, and the various either difficulties and problems that arose had to be dealt with through gaining a harmonious decision by consensus, which is to me it's quite interesting as a model that has been able to persist for over 2,500 years. Okay, well, can make the announcement.
So, Sunatu me bante Sangho Jotimanto Ayasamato Pasana Sarupasampada Peko Anusito Somaya Yari Sanghasa Patakalam Jotimanto Agacheya.
So you've been invited to Agachahi, means please come here. So you come up to the edge, and if somebody could grab his bowl and bow 3 times. And then Jotimanto will make a formal request from the Sangha asking to be given the ordination, given the going forth, and accepted by the community.
Sangham bante upasampadang yachami ulum patumang bante sangho anukampang upadaya dutiyampi bante sanghang upasampadang yachami ulum patumang bante sangho anukampang upadaya tatiyampi bante sanghang upasampadang yachami ulum patumang bante sangho anukampang upadaya.
You can remain kneeling at the edge of the Sangha, and then I will make an announcement to the Sangha, informing the Sangha of your intention and requesting the Sangha to consider you as a candidate for full acceptance. Ñaniko avuso Abhayagiri Jotimanto nama Sāmaṇera mama upasambara Bhikkhu upasambadanga kaṅkamano saṅghang yajati ahang sambamimang saṅghang acesami sadhu avuso saboyang sangho imang jotimantang nama Sāmaṇerang antarayike dhamme puchitava tattapatakala tanyatava nyati chatutena kammena akupena thana rahena upasambhade mati kama sanithanang karotu.
Sadhu.
Okay, so the Sangha has given their sadhu, so you can come up front into the midst of the Sangha. You can stop about right there. And then the chanting ācariyas will make an announcement to the Sangha that they are going to question you in the midst of the Sangha. And then after that, they'll go through the formal questioning again.
Sunatu me bante sangho ayam jotimanto ayasamato pasana sa upasampada peko yari sanghasa patakalam aham jotimantam antarayike dhamme pucheyam. Sunasi jotimanta ayante satakalo bhutakalo yang jadam tam puchami santang natiti vatabam asantang natiti vatabam santi te eva rupa avada kutam
Nati bante,
gando
Nati bante,
kilaso
Nati bante,
so
Nati bante,
apamaro
Nati bante,
manusosi
Ama bante,
purisosi
Ama bante,
buddhisosi
Ama bante,
ananosi
Ama bante,
nasi rajabato
Ama bante,
anunyatosi mata pituhi
Ama bante,
paripuna visati vasosi
Ama bante,
paripunante patachitvaram
Ama bante,
kinamosi
Ahang bante jotimanto nama,
ko namate upachayo.
Upajayo me bante ayasama pasano nama.
So you can sit in Papiya. And do you want a cushion? You okay, Vagana? Okay. Okay, so what has been finished now is basically all the preliminaries, and what is going to happen now is that the chanting ācariyas, Ajahn Karuṇadhammo, Ajahn Ñaniko, will do the formal motion to the Sangha, and 3 announcements, and sort of like, and then seeking, again this is a seeking of consensus, so that everybody's being informed of what's happening. There's this candidate, Jotimanto, who is requesting the going forth and full acceptance, and he's free from obstructions. His bowl and robes are complete, and if the community is ready, the Sangha could give the full acceptance to Jotimanto with Venerable Pasanno as his preceptor, and then this is the motion. You then make announcement. This is what we're doing. Is everybody on board? And so that for the, how does it say? For the Venerable whom this pleases, that is Jotimanto's ordination with Venerable Pasanno as his preceptor. Let him be silent. For whom this does not please, may speak at that time. You can object to it. And then you go through that first time, second time, third time, and then wrap it up at the end and say, this is agreeable to the Sangha, therefore it's silent. Please.
Sunatu me bante sangho ayam jotimanto ayasamato pasana sarupa sampada peko parisutho antaraike hidamehi paripuna sapada chivaram jotimanto sangham rupa sampadang yachati ayasamata pasanena upachayena Yadi Sangha Sapatakalam Sangho Jotimantang Upasam
Jotimantang.
Jotimantang Upasam Padeya Ayasamata Pasanena Upachayena Esanyati Sunatu me bante sangho ayam jotimanto ayasamato pasana sarupa sampada peko parisuddho antaraike hidamehi paripuna sapata chivaram jotimanto sangham rupa sampadang yachati ayasamata pasanena upachayena Sangho Jotimantang Rupa Sampadeti Ayasamata Pasanena Upachayena Yasa Yasamato Kamati Jotimantasa Upasampada Ayasamata Pasanena Upachayena Sotunhasa Yasana Kamati Sobaseya Dutiyampi etamatang vadami sunatu me bante sangho ayam jotimanto ayasamato pasana sarupa sampada peko parisuddho antaraike hidamehi paripuna sapada chivaram jotimanto sangham rupa sampadang yachati ayasamata pasanena upachayena sangho jotimantang upasampadeti ayasamata pasanena upachayena yasa yasamato kamati jotimantasa upasampada ayasamata pasanena upachayena sotunhasa yasana kamati Sobaseya tatiyampi etamatang vadami sunatu me bante sangho ayam jotimanto ayasamato pasana sarupa sampada peko parisuddho antaraike hidamehi paripuna sapata chivaram Jotimanto Sangha Rupa Sampadang Yachati Ayasamata Pasanena Upachayena Sangho Jotimantang Rupa Sampadeti Ayasamata Pasanena Upachayena Yasamato Kamati Jotimanta Sarupa Sampada Ayasamata pasanena upachayena sotunhasa yasana kamati sobaseya. Upasambhano sanghena Jotimanto ayasamata pasanena upachayena kamati sanghasa tasamatunhi evametam dharayami.
Sadhu. Okay, we are now fully ordained as a bhikkhu. You can go ahead and take your bowl off, set it off to the side. Now, part of the ordination, or not necessarily part of the ordination, but certainly before, as quickly as possible after the ordination is complete, the preceptor is required to give instruction to the newly ordained bhikkhu, and by the precepts or training, as a preceptor, then I need to give this instruction before the next dawn. So it's and sometimes in Thailand you have, like Ajahn Chah's monastery, you'd start doing ordinations after the meal, and you'd run through 10, 15 ordinations and then finish up late at night, and then you have and he wouldn't do the instruction, he'd wait for the instruction to the very end, so all of those ones who received went through the procedure of all the questioning and then the motion and 3 announcements, then everybody would get together and then he'd give the instruction, what's called the anusasana, the instruction at the very end. That would wrap up the day. Ordinations at Wat Pah Pong didn't happen all that often. There were, it was, for many years, Ajahn Chah didn't really give many ordinations, or it'd be quite or people would be training, and for some time he wasn't a preceptor, and it was shortly after he became a preceptor. So then he'd be able to do the ordinations himself. And then there was a period, I think it was 3 years, where, because he never accepted temporary ordinations, and he would just ordain people who trained with him through the taking anagarika training for a year, novice training for a year, and that limited the number of people who did take ordination. And then he figured he would experiment with doing, because it's very ordinary in Thai culture and tradition to do a temporary ordination, just be there in the monastery for 3 months of the rainy season, and it was he only did it for 3 years, and it was just too much work. It was too popular. Too many people wanted to take ordination for the range retreat, so it was a tremendous amount of work to get all the requisites together, and then the ordinations. It was like, I think the first year that he did it, there was like 70 or 80 took ordination. Next year was about 100. Next year was about 130. And then finally he said, well, that's it. He said, and somebody, remember I was sitting there one day, was asking, why did you stop giving ordinations? It was such a wonderful thing to be able to do. He said, well, we ordained 100, it was a lot of work to get it all together, and we had 130 people ordained at the beginning of the rains retreat, and then at the end of the rains retreat, we had 150 people disrobing. So it was like all these people coming in were stirring everybody else up and pulling people out of the monastery. So this is a losing proposition. But when there was multiple ordinations like that, then it was days, several days of ordinations. It was really tiring. But anyway, the instruction is something that is necessary to give, and it's just there's 8 things to be pointed out. 4 things in terms of what needs to be relied upon. So that relying upon the alms food as your support, your robes as a support, a simple lodging as a support, and the medicines for when you're sick as a support. And when the Buddha points these things out, he basically points out what is the lowest standard. You've got alms food as your support, but then, and for the rest of your life, you're endeavor to rely on that. But then, of course, then there's extra allowances, or say when there's a meal offered for the Sangha, when there's all these different occasions when it's okay to receive food in other ways. I mean, it's all offered, but it's a bit. You realize it expands out. Similarly with robes, I mean, you rely on bangsakula jivara, which bangsakula is basically scrap cloth that you can find, here and there, and that's what you're, as a perception, as a reminder, that's the standard. And if you get more than that, then that's fine. It's okay. But the expectation should always be reminding oneself of having the lowest expectation, learning how to be content with the simplest requisites. So our lodgings, our medicines for the sick, those are the fundamental requisite is what is the simplest. And if the occasion is appropriate and there's support for something better than that, then that's fine. But that shouldn't be the expectation. And then the things that one is not to be doing, those are the 4 parajika rules, rules which entail defeat. So that's engaging in sexuality, sexual intercourse, stealing, taking the life of a human being, making claims of some kind of higher human state, of enlightenment, or some kind of spiritual attainment, then those are, the Buddha is saying that disqualifies one being what's called not a samana, not a sakya puttya. Puttya is like a son of the sakyas. So that an integrity with one's the most serious precepts. So that those are making very clear that relationship to the precept, the 4 precepts with the heaviest consequences, making sure that one understands that. Of course, the other precepts, so because there's been a long period of training as an anagarika, as a novice, and you've sat in all of the instruction on the discipline and the rules of conduct, so you have a good sense of that. But those are the fundamentals that are essential to be laying down for oneself as one's training, and then that's that it wraps it up in the end as sort of this is recognizing what its purpose is for. Of course, it's for the cultivation of virtue, of meditation, of discernment or wisdom, and all of this has been instructed and expounded by the Blessed One, and it's for the subduing of the defilements, the elimination of attachment, and for the breaking of the round of rebirth, a realization of Nibbana, and that this training in moral conduct, in meditation, wisdom, it bears great fruit. It's a great advantage, and so that having prepared yourself in this doctrine and discipline made known by the Tathagata, you're to train yourself with the training in heightened virtue, with the training in heightened consciousness, the training in heightened discernment. Thus, with diligence should you strive. That's a very beautiful reminder of the aspiration, intention that we set for ourselves for this going forth. So I'll do the formal instruction according to the traditional way, using the Pali, and you can reply at the appropriate place. Anunyasi kopakava upasampadetava Jataro nisaye jatari jakarniyani ajikitung Pindiya lokabochanang nisaya papaja Tatate yavajivangusaho karaniyo Adi re kalambo sangapatang udesa patang nimantanang salakapatang pakikang uposatikang patipatikang
Amabante
Pangsakula jivarang nisaya papancha Tatate yavajivangusaho karaniyo Adi re kalambo ko mangkapasikang kosayang kambalang sanang panggang
Amabante
Rokamula senasanang nisaya pampacha Tatate yavajivangusaho karaniyo Adi re kalambo viharo adayoko pasado hammiyang kuha
Amabante
Hoti mudhabe sajang nisaya papacha Tatate yavajivangusaho karaniyo Adi re kalambo sapitnavani tante lang madhupanitang
Amabante
Upasambhanena bhikkhuna metuno dhammo na pati sevitabo Hannamaso thiracha nagathaya pi โยภิกขุเมตุนังดัมมังปัตติเสวติอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยสยถาภินามภูริโสสิสัจจิโนอัมบัมโบเทนะสริยรบันดเนนะชีวิทุงเอวเมวะภิกขุเมตุนังดัมมังปัตติเสวิตวาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยทันเทอาวชีวังคารณียังอุปสัมบันเนนะภิกขุนาดีนังไทยสังกดังนะอาดาตบังหันนมโสทีนะสัลลากังอุปันดายาโยภิกขุพาดังวาพาดาระหังวาอดิเรกปัทังวาดีนังไทยสังกดังอดียติอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยสยถาภินามพันธุพัลลาโสปันนาปมุตโตบัพโพหริตถายาเอวเมวะภิกขุพาดังวาพาดาระหังวาอดิเรกปัทังวาดีนังไตยสังกตังอดีตวาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยทันเทอาวชีวังคารณียังอุปสัมบันเนนะภิกขุนาสัญชิจพานุชีวิธานาวโรเปตโปหันนมโสคุนตาคิปิลิกังอุปาดายาโยภิกขุสัญชิจมนุสวิกหังชีวิธาวโรเปติหันนมโสกาปภาตนังอุปาดายาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยสยถาภินามพุทธุศีลาวินดาภินาปฏิสันดิกาโหติเอวเมวะภิกขุสัญชิจมนุสวิกหังชีวิธาวโรเปตวาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยทันเทอาวชีวังคารณียังอุปสัมบันเนนะภิกขุนาอุทริมนุสดัมโมนะอุลปิตโบหันนมโสสุญญาการะหะบิรมามิติโยภิกขุภาปิโชเอชาภคโตสันทังภูทังอุตริมนุสธัมมังอุลปติชานังวาวิโมขังวาสัมมาดิงวาสัมมาปติงวามังกังวาพลังวาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยสยถาภินามทาโลมัตตกัจฉิโนบัมโบพุนวิลุลหิยาเอวเมวะภิกขุภาปิโชเอชาภคโตสันทังภูทังอุตริมนุสดัมมังอุลปิตวาอสัมมโนโหติอสักขิยปุตติโยทันเทอาวชีวังคารณียังอเนกปริยายเนโคภนเทนะภควทาชานทาภาสตาอรหัตตาสัมมาสัมพุทเทนะสีลังสมดากตังสัมมาทิสมดากโตปัญญาสมดากตายาวะเทวทาสะมัดนิมมันดนาสะพิภาสเวนยาสะหาลายาสมุกทาสะวัตถุพันเจธาสะทันหาคายาสะวิราคะสะนิโรธสะนิพพานสะสัจจิกิริยายาทัตตะศีลปริภาวิโทสมาธิมหาปโลโหติมหานิสังโสสมาธิปริภาวิตาปัญญามหาปโลโหติมหานิสังสะปัญญาปริภาวิตังจิตตังสัมมาเดวหาสเวหิวิมุจจติสยติดังคาบาสวาบาบาสวาหวิชาสวาตัสมาทิเทมัสมิงตถาคตปเวทิเทธัมมเวนเยสาขาชังอาดิศีลาสิกขาสิกิตบาอาดิจิตตสิกขาสิกิตบาอาดิปัญญาสิกขาสิกิตบาตัตตะอัปปมาเดนะสัมปดิตัมมัง
Oka sawandami bante, sabang aparadang kamatame bante, maya katang punyang samina anumoditabang, samina katang punyang mayhang databang, sadhu, sadhu, anumodam.
Okay, very good. Sadhu, sadhu. That is the end of the ordination ceremony. We can conclude with a chant of the blessing chants and sharing of blessings, dedication of merit, and setting that wish for all beings to benefit through the acceptance ceremony and your going forth into the holy life. So it's something to delight in. Sāmaṇera Jotimanto
Samasanta Pavajito Sāmaṇera Kanto Nirbuddho Chatawang Bhava Sabitiyo Vivajantu Sabarogo Vinasatu Mate Bhavadvantarayo Sukidika Yugo Bhava Abhivadana Siri Sanicang Buddha Pachayino Chataro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Sukito Virulo Buddha Sasane Arogo Sukito Ho Isahasambe Hinyati Piso Atalado Sukito Virulo Buddha Sasane Arogo Sukito Ho Isahasambe Hinyati Piso Atalado Sukito Virulo Buddha Sasane Arogo Sukito Ho Isahasambe Hinyati Mina Punya Kamena Ipajaya Gunutara Acariyo Bagara Chanata Pita Chanyataka Suryo Chandima Raja Gunawanta Narapi Chatrama Maraja Inda Chalokapala Chadevata Yamomita Manusa Chamajata Verika Pijasabe Sata Suki Hontu Punyani Bhagatani Me Sukhan Chativitang Kentu Kipang Papeta Womatang Imina Punyagamena Imina Udisena Chakipahang Sulapece Watan Upadana Cetana Ye Santane Hina Dhammaya Vanibbanato Mamang Nasantu Sabata Ye Vayata Jato Bhave Bhave Ujucetang Satipanya Saleko Viriyamina Maralabantu Loka Sankadun Javiriye Sume Buddhati Pavaro Nato Dhammo Nato Varutamo Nato Pace Kabuto Jasangho Nato Taro Mamang Deso Tamanupawe Namaro Gasang Labantuma.
Okay, so that's it. Just express appreciation for everybody who came to join today, made the effort to come. Of course, Jotimanto's parents, Dan and Diana, came all the way down from Portland. And people came up from the Bay Area, and from Ukiah. Of course, the people who were in the monastery came to plug in. So, and having it on a Monday makes it real, almost like a family affair, which feels kind of nice. Okay, close.